Our heritage and ideas are codes and standards. These are the things we live by and teach our children. They are preserved or diminished by how freely we exchange ideas and feelings. Walt Disney. My family history is a unique one. This is because I am multiracial. My father is African American and my mother is white. Let's just start with my dad's side of the family, shall we? My father is from Buffalo, New York, but his family is from South Carolina, where about 90% of them still live, in a small little town called Pimlico. If you drive through it and blink, you might pass it. That's how small it really is. My father, Joseph, comes from a big family of 5 brothers and sisters. He falls somewhere in the middle. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many cousins I have, but let's just say it's somewhere between more than a little and a heck of a lot. My father decided to join the Navy in his 20s and ended up in Bremerton, Washington. This is how he met my mother. My mom's name is Sue, and as I said, she's white. Most of her family comes from Arkansas and Tennessee, even though she was born in California and raised in Auburn, Washington. She comes from a family of 2 older brothers named Gary and Dwayne, and her parents, Dallas and Joanne. Her mother's side of the family was from Tennessee, as her father's side was from Arkansas. Her parents decided to move to Washington because my grandfather got a better job. And like fate, my parents meet. And 3 years later, I come along. And 5 years after that, my sister decided to make an appearance. As you can see, I know a lot more about my mother's side of the family than my father's. This is because I have only seen my father's side of the family a handful of times in my life. I grew up on the West Coast with my mother's family, so besides an occasional phone call from my father's parents, we don't really talk to them anymore. Now, I do believe in order to understand someone's heritage, tradition is a key way of doing this. All of the traditions that I take place in revolve around my mother's side of the family, so let's just stick to those. We really are a laid-back family, and the only traditions that come to mind involve holidays or the Super Bowl, which in my house might as well be a holiday. The holidays that I do participate in with my family are Thanksgiving and Christmas. On Thanksgiving, we surround ourselves by a lot of food because my father is a chef. We have anything from sweet potatoes, yams, collard greens, green bean casserole, turkey, and chitlins, although my dad is the only one who goes near the chitlins. They're disgusting. While we are eating dinner, it is usually really loud in the house. My dad and the rest of the men are usually in the living room watching the game on TV and yelling as if they're waiting for the people to talk back to them, while the girls are finishing up their dinner and playing board games in the kitchen. We are a very competitive family. We always argue with who's going to be on my mom's team because her team always ends up losing. Christmas might as well be the same thing as Thanksgiving in my family. Just add presents in the morning and that's our Christmas. Now, what's heritage without religion? I hate to break it to you, but my mom's side of the family really doesn't have any religious values except for maybe holidays or in times of tragedy. I know, horrible, right? Well, not really to me. I was raised liberal in a family that respects your choice to follow your own beliefs and opinions, not bashing religion at all. I think religion is a great thing. I even went to a Christian college for a while. It's just not for me. My mom's side of the family just believes in being the best person possible, and that's good enough for us. Now, my dad's side of the family, on the other hand, is the total opposite. My father was raised Southern Baptist. He went to church 3 days a week and never failed. You prayed every time you went to church, to the dinner table, before you went to bed. It just didn't matter. He was raised under the strict beliefs of heaven and hell because he was raised in the South. He was brought up with many weird superstitions, most of them ending in the same outcome. If you didn't do what was expected of you, you left an opening in your heart for the devil to seep into you. I have to say, I am really glad that I wasn't raised like that. I visited my side of the family once when I was younger. It was a little more than I could handle with the religious values. Today, I have told you a little about my heritage and belief system of the Greer Drayton family. I have done this by speaking about our family history, second, telling you about our traditions, and finally explaining to you the religious backgrounds. There are many different ways to describe a family heritage. This is just mine.